Are you somebody who's asking the question, I don't know how to choose a career? Hi, my name is Minesh Baxi. I'm a TEDx speaker, author, and publisher of 12 books plus, and I've been a business coach for 25 years, working with top achievers as well as people who are confused. I don't know how to choose a career. Why? Very simple. I was one of those people. I was very good in studies in my school, did really well in school and college in terms of grades, got into one of the top colleges in India, came over to US because of the colleges and education, and I was a computer programmer, a very highly sought after job at that time, which is over 35 years ago now. And I was very confused in my profession because I did not enjoy it. And after 12 years, having spent a lot of time in school and college, 12 years in the profession, I was at a crossroad because I was laid off, fired, whatever you want to call that. My contract was not renewed, however you want to say that. And I ended up the starting of the millennium, which is 2000, without a job. Now I had some opportunities, etc. But the problem was I didn't want to be in that profession anymore. And though I was, likely to get a job in Tucson, Arizona, so hi to some of my friends in Tucson. Bill Staples is a close friend, and I have a few other wonderful friends there as well. And I found out that I was not going to survive in that career too much. I had reached the end of the road in that career. So if you're one of those people who is asking, it's like, Minesh, I have done the right thing. People have told me to go to school, work hard, even worked at certain companies which would be prestigious jobs, etc. And yet I'm at a crossroad. I don't really know what to do for my career. What is the next step? So what I'm going to lay out today, and this is a series of videos that I'm going to be put out. I'll tell you a little bit about my journey and also certain things that you should be asking yourself as well. So here is the issue. Most of us have been trained just for academic purposes. And if you want to hear my story a little bit more about certain things, you can watch my TEDx talk that I gave last year. The whole point I want to emphasize to you is the structure of the system that we have in the schools, colleges, even jobs does not really look at what we are good at in terms of really enjoying what lights you up, etc. And what ends up happening for most of us is we get good grades in something, and our teacher, our student counselor, or school counselor, whatever, says, hey, this is going to be fantastic for you. You should go in that direction. And unfortunately, we find after a while that we knew how to do this, we were skilled at it, but the skill wasn't enough to make us feel excited about a career. And we hit difficulties. Now, some of us may succeed for a while, but the joy is gone. The purpose, that passion is gone. And when you look back in your life, you will find moments that you were really enjoying your life and you want to kind of duplicate that. But in a career setting, it just becomes hard. So, what we're going to cover today is a quick concept from the report that I use called DISC. There is motivators, EQ, and a few other wonderful tools out there in the world. All I want you to understand is that using certain tools is definitely going to be very helpful to you. So, that is the number one thing I would tell you. But let's talk more about how we are wired. What happens is the moment somebody is born, it seems like, I don't know if it is all the time genetics, but it could be genetic and environment combined. Like I'll tell you about my children. So I've been married for 34 years. My wife's profile is very different from my profile. My two children, my daughter is 22 years old, and my son is, he just turned 18 a couple of days ago. Their profiles are different as well. So we are very different people. To think that the same career would be suitable for everybody, or at least the same approach, is not a smart idea. Unfortunately, nowhere in the school system we go through this. And a lot of employers hire great looking like resumes, interviews, skill set, and still the employee doesn't seem like a good fit. Why? Because the profile doesn't fit the situation, the job. And that's going to be always a challenge if you don't know enough about yourself. So here is what I would like to tell you. The first is a DISC assessment. Now, DISC assessment, you can find enough knowledge on my channel about it, and you can also research it on ChatGPT and other places. But the DISC was started by a psychologist, William Marston, and some of you who may know him, his name, he was very famous also for creating the Wonder Woman character. So the point that I want to mention to you is that This came from a psychological framework that was useful for people, and understandably so, because that is something which is going to be helpful to understand the mind, so to speak, right? And what he found, again, this model sounds similar to what Hippocrates, I think, came up with. The version that I remember is using sanguine, choleric, etc. And these are the four different domains, so to speak, four different characteristics that are easily noticeable. Now, this report is based on behavior style, which means you know because you can see it, right? You can observe it. So in my case, as an example, I'm one of those people who's fun, friendly. I love talking to people. I can connect with anybody anywhere I want to. Like you're standing in the grocery line, talking to the person next to you, in front of you, talking to the person. It's like, hey, hi, how are you doing? And it's just natural for me. It's not something I have to work at. So if I don't pick a career where naturally everyday interaction is part of my job, I'm going to get frustrated, right? And that's what I did. I was a computer programmer sitting at a cubicle, so to speak, and the opportunity to talk to other people, communicate, interact was very limited. And that is what you and I have to learn is whatever your profile is, if your job, your daily activities are not going to be consistent with it, you're going to run into a challenge. And that is extremely important to notice. So there are four profile characteristics here. D is dominance, I is influencing, S steadiness, and C compliance. So what is dominance? In short, in brief, D's love challenges. They like to take initiative, take charge, and do things now. And they can be very direct in their communication. So that's what you need to know. So if you think of somebody who's like bossy, and yesterday I ran into somebody at a dealership and his attitude was super high D and young kid in his 20s. And I'm like, I don't need to be here. I just walked out because somebody has not trained this guy on how to actually communicate with people who are coming into a dealership. So if you're watching and you're a sales manager, you're training salespeople, make sure you teach people how to build rapport in a very empathetic manner to learn about the person before starting about a product or a service. And uh, I hate going into dealerships personally because dealerships, unfortunately, a lot of them have not done a good job of being very transparent, and they try to oversell you stuff that is really not really relevant to what you're looking to accomplish. But anyway, tangent aside, is there are a lot of D's in sales, and these people may get transactions because they're willing to talk to people, they're willing to be very bottom line, let's get the ball rolling, but they're going to burn some bridges in the process. And that's what you have to remember as well. So D's love challenges, they like to be direct, and they want to get things done now. They have a sense of time, deadline, consciousness, and they want to really be the leader quite often. So I influencing is a fun, friendly, hey, you know what? I would love to talk to you anywhere and everywhere. They're talking to people because they like talking to people. They're being center of attention. And most important that you and I want to remember is like they like to be the star, right? So if they can be on stage, they can be in front of people, they can have the like time in front of people, they love it. And they want to create interaction every single moment that they can. In fact, their thinking is, how can I find the next person to talk to, right? Who will listen to me, right? So that is what fun friendly. And these people are cheerleaders. They can be wonderful greeters, and having them at a party is really, really positive because they are going to light up the party. The S is steadiness. So this is a person who is calm, wants to be part of the team, but stay even keel. They don't show too many emotions, but they're also very helpful people in service oriented roles. Like if you have a customer service job to provide, the S is going to make sure that the person is taken care of. And that's a great quality to have on your team. The C compliance, these people want to make sure the rules are followed exactly as they are supposed to be followed. They want to make sure things are done right the first time exactly. So what does all of this mean? So DISC, D means somebody who wants to take charge. So if you are somebody looking to find a career fit for yourself, we do provide reports, which is what I've done over 10,000 of them in my career to help different people in their situations on how to make sure they're making the right choice, either for an employer to make sure the employee is a good fit, or somebody who is actually looking for a change in career or wants to understand themselves better, what career would fit them as well. So if you're somebody as a D, look for a role where you can take charge. You can kind of boss around some people, right? And timeline. like deadlined. You are very much proactively looking for challenges and you're looking for things to be done quickly. The next question for them is like, hey, where is the challenge? Right? If the challenge is not there, gets bored, walks away. The I person wants interaction. So you want to give them a role where they're going to be interacting with people most of the day because that's what brings up that juices, right? Passion. S is somebody you want to give them a service oriented role. They're not going to be front of the room talking to people all the time and getting things done through people. They're more, hey, let me be a good helping person. And the C compliance make sure they are the ones to follow the rules and they want to make sure the rules are followed, the process is followed, etc. So when you look at it from that perspective, identify which one are you leaning to most. Now, if you want more accurate, obviously I provide reports for that. So that is a disc assessment. You can use that. But also, I have a wonderful book which I wrote along with my daughter called Seven Critical Career Skills They Don't Teach in School. So, if you want that, I'll put a download link, just download for free so you can actually start learning about the skills that are required in the marketplace. Because with AI changes and everything else, you definitely need to know the skills which will be here much longer than obviously some of the skills that are being outdated very quickly through internet, technology, AI, and all that is going on as well. So here is the process that I think is really good for people is once you figure out a little bit more like a disk. Now there are other reports, we'll cover those in the future. What will happen is you will start saying, okay, I gravitate to this. Then there is no one solution, right? Because a number of professions with different varying of DISC requirements, then you and I need to become curious. See, this is the problem with the academic system. There is no scope for curiosity to try different things. And what I would recommend you to do is to say, hey, you know what? If I'm leaning more towards D, let me find roles where that would be definitely important. And then experiment. Again, I know the system doesn't give you that much time. You still have to make money and all that stuff. So I understand the situation. But at the same time, if you want to really find a career, that's the place to start with. Okay, if I'm a high D, what are the roles which are naturally going to be a fit? And then give yourself some time to go into a role, find out if it's going to be a good role because the D can be in number of professions. Now, quite a few Ds are in sales, they are in charge of departments, or they take on projects because they like project-oriented environment. Finish a project, go to the next one. Finish a project, go to the next one. So a number of different roles that you could find where D is going to be appropriate for you. And then have a mentor who is going to be watching your progress, who's going to say, hey, you know what? I can see that you have picked this profession, and let me see in 3 6 months where your progress is. And if the progress is there, the person is enjoying it, there is passion, purpose, etc., all aligned, then continue to be in that area. And eventually you'll see, hey, I can fine tune it to fit me perfectly. So the key part is going to be start with a profile like this and then find out which roles will fit that particular profile for you. And again, everything which you start new is going to be uncomfortable. There are going to be some new skills you'll have to learn. So don't consider that as the stopping point for you. Don't let that be a barrier for you because, yeah, you were doing accounting for a while, but you didn't enjoy it. Well, if accounting is not what you enjoy, maybe what you enjoy is interacting with people, you will have to learn new skills to connect with people, right? And also, you'll have to find roles where that's going to be more appropriate, and that transition will take some time. So, I hope this is helping you understand that how to change your career is an important point if you don't know whether this career has been good for you and really giving you the benefit of that. Now, once you decide what are the roles which you can try, then you also need to continue giving yourself some time. Now, we won't cover the motivators report in detail here, but one of the key aspects about motivators is that we are motivated by 6 different potential. This is from psychologists as well, a good research where you and I can start looking at it and say, hey, these are the motivators, what motivates me the most. So I'll give you one quick example. So salespeople are motivated by money. So if your score is high on what is called utilitarian economic, then maybe sales is a direction you should experiment. And that doesn't mean sales is the only one. This is the one where your return on investment of time, money, energy invested is getting you the most back. So that's why sales and bonuses, commissions is usually attractive for people whose money score is high. That doesn't matter what their disc reports shows. If money motivator is high, then go in that direction, experiment with it. You may have to learn skills that you don't like. That is bound to happen because to succeed in any career over a time period, you'll have to learn skills that are not natural to you because that's just what life is about. So then start experimenting for a while and then you will say, okay, I like this more than the other, and track your progress. Have a mentor who is making sure that you are taking the right steps to master the process of succeeding in that profession. So if you're somebody who's watching this video and saying, Minesh, what do I do next? So I'll give you two simple steps. The first step is download 7 critical career skills that they don't teach in school. Download that. Again, if you're not much of a reader, I did create a checklist and a cheat sheet as well, like a workbook, which would be very helpful for you to walk through because the 7 skills that I'm talking about are very fundamental and they will be required in pretty much every career you go in order to succeed. And that is why those are very fundamental career skills that everybody needs to learn. And I'm giving you that as a gift. And number two, if you're serious about getting a disc assessment, then let me know in the comment below and I'll give you the link, and also get in touch with me. My name is Minesh Baxi. I can be reached at minesh@mbaxi.com, or you can reach me directly on my cell phone, 248-866-0063. And my goal is to help you, just like I've helped my children. My daughter is 22, my son is 18. They both are TEDx speakers. They're really very good. Their profiles are very different. And how I coach and mentor them is also very, very different because I want to make sure that I'm helping them succeed in life that they want to be. So once again, thanks for watching. And here is the key. If you're serious, download the book right now and get started.